Another thing that I try to make my clients aware of is the fact that they don't know it all. They don't know everything. But this is an assumption that we usually make, about a situation, about a problem, about
Yep.
a relationship. We assume that we know exactly what's going on, and we are the victim of it, and the other person is the bad person.
Correct.
And this is a very toxic attitude to have in every relationship. It's so important to understand that when you're tackling a problem or an issue with someone, it's like you're making a puzzle with them, and 50% of the pieces, more or less, you have, and the other 50% of the pieces the other person
Mm-hmm.
has. And so you don't have all the pieces of the puzzle. So that's why it's extremely important that you put yourself into into a modality in which you are listening, in which you want to learn. So putting yourself in a humble mentality. That's
Let me ask you this, because and I'll explain real quick why I had that mindset, and then if you can maybe give us some tips on how to come out of that. Because as you were saying that, I totally had that for years. And it was because so many bad things happened to me that were wrong as a child. And I just remember always thinking, that's not fair. That's not fair. And I wanted to be heard. That's not fair. And so if something in my perception, and I now understand, it's my perception, when something happened to me as an adult and that little girl saw it, I acted out and I had to be right. And and someone had to hear me, and they had to hear me, and that, and I know I'm right. And it was almost like a frantic feeling, because it was the little girl in me that was crying out because she needed to be heard. And I understand that now. But sometimes we go into these discussions, especially when somebody's been so wounded, and they go into these discussions with that mindset, like, you got to hear me because what you did really hurt me. And someone is so strong minded that way. Is it recommended that you let them just let it out? I mean, how do you work through that? Because I know I don't do that anymore, but I can't remember exactly how I work through that. But for somebody who's ready to go into a discussion, but they do struggle with that, how do they go into it with an open mind and listening rather than wanting to talk?
right. This is another important topic that I touch upon even before getting to the problem itself. It's so important. So, what you want to communicate to all the people in the discussion is that everyone needs to understand that they are not right. First thing, everyone needs to understand that they don't know all of the pieces of the puzzle, but also everyone needs to understand that in some way, whether intentional or not, they hurt
Right.
the people in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very important to take responsibility. The way that I try to bring this message to in a way that everyone really understands that is really stressing the fact that you might hurt people inadvertently, and this is the case in so many situations, and this is what people really don't know, or they convince themselves that they didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
know, in a sense it might be true, because they might have not with purpose said something to hurt the other
Right.
person. But nonetheless, it's extremely important for the healing of the family, for the healing of the person in front of you, that you recognize openly with them what you did wrong, that you understand why that made the other person suffer in the first place, and that you recognize the need to change that particular behavior. And why do you want to change that behavior? And very simplistically, for love. Because in the end, in a family, in a relationship, it's all about love. I believe that love is everywhere, love is who we are, and that's especially true in a family. So, since we love each other, since I love my dad, I love my mother, I love my sister, if I am conscious that a particular behavior that I have hurts them because I love them, I want to change them. And this is the motivation. This is the motivation that always works with anyone. Because whenever I ask in a family, even if it's deep, deep down, like, do you love your son? Do you love your daughter? Do you love your wife? The answer is always yes, even if it's deep, deep down. And it's always yes. It all comes to love in the end. And when you approach the conversation with this attitude, you easily realize, okay, there are so many ways I could have hurt my family without knowing that.
Yeah.
And I feel so stupid that I realized that just now. So please tell me all the ways in which I hurt you. There is a change of mentality,
Yeah.
a change of a paradigm. People change perspective and they move from, I really wanted to say everything that I really want to say, to, oh my God, for sure, I have hurt my family members. Like, it's crystal clear that I
Yeah.
hurt them in some way without realizing it. And now I want to know all about it. I want to know what I said. I want to know, and I want to apologize for it because I never truly meant it. I
Right.
never truly meant to cause all of this suffering,
Yeah.
all of this pain.